Hey there, Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Moon, Sagittarius Rising. Welcome to your reading. We are going to take a look at the next 3 months. No, well, we're in the middle of one, but November, December, and January. I'm doing a 3-month for you because I am going to take a little bit of a hiatus. I need a break. There will be one more video coming up before I take my break. I will take a look at 2024, a large overview of that so that we can see what's going on. But we're going to look at each of the months separately here, and then we're going to pull clarifying cards for it. So I want to point out a couple of things I think might be very useful to keep in mind. So as I'm recording this, we're in the light of the new moon in Scorpio. Those of you that are Sag rising, that is your 12th house, and so you might be a little more tired, but this one was interesting because it's so connected to Mars, and so there was a lot of vitality that flowed through, and so we have Mars conjunct the Sun here in November on the 18th, and it is a reset energy. Sag season coming up. Wow. Okay. You have a lot happening. Okay. So December, as we get into Sagittarius season, the 26th is when Mercury moves into shadow. It moves into shadow in your sign. It's going to get into Capricorn before it retrogrades, I think up to about 8 degrees. It stations retrograde, I think, on the 13th, if I remember correctly. And then it will retrograde back through your sign. It stations direct on the 30th of December, and so you're spending your birthday season, your sun sign season there in a Mercury retrograde. So there will be a need to slow down. There will be a need to slow down. There will be a need to pay attention, especially around things around travel, around the holidays. You might find that really comes up. It does clear its shadow in time for that full moon that comes in Leo, right, like around, what is it? I don't know, the 23rd or something like that of January. And then on the 26th of January, we have the Uranus stationing direct. And Uranus stationing direct means now all the planets are moving forward. So as we leave January and we move toward that new lunar year of the dragon and the rest of this year, you're going to find that energy is moving forward for a few months, and I think there's going to be a lot of action activity, a lot of things fueling that, a lot of opportunity. But let's just see what happens here. So we're going to get started here. This is November. Thoughts, feelings, and suggested actions for you. I want to go ahead and pull this other card here because I see something coming out here. So you have a lot of, is this also air? That one's water. Okay, I have a lot of air. Air feeds fire. So as far as, you're spending a lot of time in your head about a couple of things. So in the area of thoughts, we have the 9 of air. So that's like 9 of swords. I've not noticed this before. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of stones piled up at the base of it that looks like, and there's crows sitting on top of it. It almost feels like a cycle that is completed. And usually you think of that with the 10 of swords, but I think the 10 of swords is more of a resurrection energy, right? So the 9s is always where we complete a cycle. It's where we finish something out. And so there is a noose hanging from the limb of this tree. I'm sorry if that has triggered anyone, but that is what is on here. And so I feel like it almost feels more like the hanged man energy of your thoughts have been holding you stuck in a position, and there's a spear that is leaning against the side of the trunk. But what's interesting is that this trunk is super twisted up there. It's almost as though all your thoughts have twisted you up a lot. There's been like a storm. So when I lived in Florida, a tornado touched down in the backyard and then bounced right back up. And one of the things it did is it took the tree that was in the front yard and it just completely twisted so much of the branches. That's why some of them broke off. But you could see the twisted mark. And so it's almost as like all of these thoughts spinning around, almost like a tornado of thoughts going on and on has twisted something up. And it's it held you in place. And now here's an opportunity to bring this to a close. Right? And so there's a lot of little fairy guidance in the limb. So I feel as though there is an opportunity here to take this energy and to allow it to complete that cycle, because here we have the card of increase and we have the card of family. And so this is financial increase. And so because of the family, for some of you, congratulations if you are increasing your family. But I feel like it's more like financial stability is increasing. And so I think you've spent a lot of time thinking about it, got a little twisted up in your head, but I think a solution is presenting itself to you. There's something really good happening here. So remember what I said. I'm going to skip this. We'll get to this in a second. But in the thoughts here, right, I said the Ten of Swords would be it's like an ace with a circle, right? A one with a circle, an ace, the new idea, and the circle is almost like the world energy of completing. So it's the rebirth cycle, and you get to that with. They're recommending that you get to that this month. Like where you have been all twisted up in your head, there's something that you have an idea about, and it's something that will increase value for you in some aspect of your life, right? That somehow affects your family. Because here, excuse me, we have the Ace of Air. And the Ace of Air, for the recommended action, though, what's interesting, though, is the information is coming in your sleep. Right? It's coming in your sleep. Look at all those books and the knowledge. And so it's almost as though setting the intention before you go to bed at night, and particularly right now in this energy of this reset energy of Mars, where that Mars is a fire sign, and it rules Aries. It also rules Scorpio, though, and that's where it's resetting at. And so it's about using your emotional intuition to allow your passion to rise up. And I almost feel as though setting the intention before you go to bed will allow you to fuel the passion and to find the answers and to create what it is that you need. I remember being really stuck on a project when I was at college in engineering school, and I couldn't find the answer. But when I went to sleep, I dreamed the solution. I saw where I needed to make the tweak, and I feel like that is what is being offered to you right now, and it comes with this card of home, Earth, and so there's a groundedness to this, and it feels almost as though it's that Uranus and Taurus energy. Uranus and Taurus is opposing. It's opposing where Mars is resetting at, and so it's about this lightning bolt of an idea that comes through, this inspiration, this inspired idea that comes through, and then ground it. Bring it home. Manifest. Take that first step, right? The first step is what grounds an idea. They can be up here all you want, but right, this tree has the roots, and so even though it got all twisted up, it is still stable, it's still standing. It has its roots, and the roots is what's going to allow it to grow up here. And so there's something about needing to take one intended action toward the solution that comes to you. And in the heart, it says, in my essence, I am joy. So you should be creating from joy. And with this, we have the Seven of Cups, right? The Seven of Water. And so I feel like you have options, but the one that you choose, I think this is what's got you all twisted up, is that you are emotionally drawn to several ideas. Which one, though, when you think about it, it's unmitigated joy. I think that's where the answer lies. It's not about wondering, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have doubts about if we can do that. That is not the thing to put on the scale right now to help you to decide. The thumb on the scale that helps you to choose the right thing for you, is what feels like joy in your heart. What, whenever you think about it, is just nothing but joy, even if you don't see the way forward. And then you take that first step, and I feel like the path lights up before you. Okay, so let's get into your season here, December. Well, you know, part of your season is, of course, here in Scorpio, and so happy birthday to you, Sagittarius. If you were born in November, December, your solar return is upon you. Oh wow, they were talking about the scales of justice, and here's the Justice card. What's interesting is that in this is the what is it called? The you think I could remember, The Wild Unknown. The Wild Unknown by Krans. Her Justice card is actually the number 8. So in your thoughts, but look, there is your conscious and your subconscious being in alignment around the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords, if you see, it's pointing down. And I feel like it's this. It's the Ace of Swords that comes to you as an inspiration, a divine thought that is given to you, and then it is about creating the intention and then grounding it with an action, right? So aligning your subconscious desires with an action that you take, it's up here in the heart space. It creates the balance, and you have this 3 of Cups. Again, that community, that family, that triplicity, they're saying, that triplicity. There's 3. Oh, there's 3 here. Now, it could be a family of ideas. 3 things that are related to each other. Yes, it could be about family, absolutely, children, whatever. It totally could be that. But there almost feels like there's a triplicity of ideas, a growth of it. So the 3 of Cups sometimes is shown as the child. They call it the maiden, the mother, and the wise one, right? So the different stages of things. So it could be a growth stage through there. 3 of Cups is about emotional growth. And it's also about community and social, but it might be that there's these 3 ideas. So maybe you've gone from the 7 of Cups to the 3 of Cups. Okay, these 4 ideas for sure, not those. For sure, not those. But what is most in alignment with your subconscious desires and your conscious desires? What is the thing that you want the most on the inside and the outside? Because it is in that middle area there, that thing that, it's almost like a Venn diagram to show me, where you have, the 3 circles. Where do they in the middle meet? And so it might actually be a 4th option that you had not thought of yet. Okay, or an 8th option. But you've whittled it down to these 3 desires. And is there something that you could, so it might be something brand new that you've not thought of before. Okay, so here we have intuition and awakening. This is about not overthinking it. It is about getting into your head, your heart, and feeling it. But notice the intuition card, he's got his feet in the waters. He's got the turtles there of longevity, but his head's above the water. It's both. It's using, it's kind of like that energy of make a choice and then make the choice work. And so oftentimes in life, there will be that thing where you're like, I just really want to do that. You decide to do that, okay? And then you're like, now I figure out how. And so it's more about the deep inner knowing, the call, the pull, like a gravitational pull toward that thing that you don't know how you're going to do it, but you're going to figure it out. So this awakening, she's in a power warrior pose, right? She's actually in warrior 3. So she's, oh, okay. So look, she's got, so in this pose, you are solid. You're standing your ground. You're pointing forward, right? And you are solid, right? But when you reach up and you bend backwards, you open up the heart chakra to expose it to the energy of the universe. And with in the heart space, you have the Son of Cups, the Knight of Cups. And so there is an emotional transformation, a connection in with this energy in the heart space. It's where all the things come together. It's where all the things come together. And the Knight of Cups takes action. He moves forward, driven by the emotional energy of passion and desire. You have all is connected. You can't make this stuff up. All is connected. It's the Venn diagram. There's somehow, okay, so you get from the 4 to the 3, okay? And you've spent a lot of time, right? And so there's these 3 things. There's these 3 things, these 3 ideas, these 3 desires, these 3 whatever. Maybe there's 3 people involved. Where, 3 aspects of your life, 3 things that you love doing, 3 things that you want to have. So let's give an example. Maybe you just really love children, but you aren't financially ready to do that, right? And you want to own a home, but you may not really be financially ready to do that. And you'd love to be your own business owner, okay? And so maybe there is a loan out there that will allow you to purchase a home if the part of it is going to be used to create a daycare center. Now you're at home, you're with children, and you're making money. And so it feels something like that, okay? So maybe you have knowledge, a talent in one area, and a knowledge in another area, and the desire is to create wealth for yourself. Can you figure out a way to combine these things together to make one workable idea that incorporates multiple skills, multiple values, multiple goals? And so there's something around that that might allow you to do that. All right, so we have the Tower in the action to take. What is interesting about this is the recommended action. It's not being done to you. It's something you do. And again, this feels like Uranus and Taurus, that lightning bolt of an idea that comes through, that shakes everything up. And it came, though, with this 4 of Swords, where the third eye chakra's got the sun on it. This feels like, so 4s are about stability. And it feels like it is going to be through meditation that you get the guidance that you need. That is 2 times that in the recommended action, we have this information coming through in that direction. And so there is something about really connecting into your higher self and allowing yourself to be inspired. Allow yourself to be inspired. We have the intuition, the awakening, and now we have this Tower Thunderbolt moment, this moving forward. Everything is connected in some way. And sometimes when things in life happen and a door gets slammed shut in our face, rejection is redirection. I know people say it's protection, but it's really redirection. Right? So when you have a small child and they're insistent they want to do something, you can yell at them and tell them not to do it, or you can give them something else to do. One is more loving, and they both can be effective to a degree, but eventually no, right? Eventually there's a knock-on effect, and I feel like with the universe, this is our loving parent, right? And so a redirection is, hey, why don't you look at this over here? Why don't you look at this over here? In the heart space, you have all cups. I just noticed that. You have all this emotional energy. Your superpower is going to come through in that energy here. You have expecting miracles. This Tower, this redirection, or this download and insight, maybe you give this someone else a Tower moment. Maybe you go into work one day and you're like, this job isn't for me. And they're like, what? It's the end of the year. It is the end of the year, and do pay attention to quitting after you've gotten your bonus. Just saying. But it might be that you have decided next year I'm taking a different direction. Expect miracles. Miracles are blossoming in my life. And so there is an increase coming in. You know, maybe it's that you would love to have a family, but the job you're at right now is just not going to give you what you need in order to be able to afford that situation. There's something about the family here. Oh, there's actually 4 children in this family. There's a baby coming in. All right. Let's look at January. January looks a little tricky. So January is Capricorn energy, a lot of it, then gets into Aquarius energy. But we start off with your mind with the devil. It's a lot of indulgence. For some of you, this is really simple. You're like, it's your New Year's resolutions. I'm going to cut that back. I'm going to release that addiction to that, whatever, right? To me, the devil is about you are not ever bound by anything other than your own self-limiting beliefs about yourself. Your self-limiting beliefs is the quote-unquote devil in your life. Whatever that is. If it's an addiction or a distraction or it's that you have somehow forgotten that you are a fractal of the universal energy. And a fractal is a mirror image of the universe. You are a part of the universe. You have all the same properties, the ability to manifest, the ability to create. And what you create here becomes part of the universal energy. You're a fractal. And sometimes we get confused, we go through the veil of amnesia, we have people telling us that we're not good enough, we're not capable enough, and we can get lost. But it's a self-limiting belief that has been absorbed in the mind. But when you get into the heart and you know who you are and you love who you are, that changes. That changes a lot. And so you're being invited into this energy of knowing yourself and really connecting in with yourself. Because here we have the 2 of Cups in the heart space. Now, on one level, it could be you connecting with a soulmate. But honestly, this feels like you are connecting with your higher self. And this is going to be important. Because you have a big challenge to overcome by the end of the month. Or throughout the month. And there's a big change, a big shift. And it's got to do with what had you worried up here in the first place. These are 2 different decks. Oh, they're the same author, though. Okay. So here we have all these fairies up in the tree. 9 of Swords. And here we have the 3 of Swords. And there's a moving van outside. And she's looking at bills. And it almost feels like a forced change. Right? For some of you, you're going to be shifting a career or a job change. There's some kind of a change that you feel is what you need to do to create financial stability in your family. Even though we don't have any pentacles here, that's what it feels like. Okay? And it might be really hard because you really like the job, you like the people, you like the commute, whatever. There's some kind of a change. This moving just to me means that something is moving forward in your life that you may not have necessarily wanted to do, but it will in the end be the best thing for you. Because I really feel what the other cards here are saying is things are happening for their best and their highest good. Let's get the clarifications on this. Let's see if we can figure out this devil energy here. I do feel like you might not necessarily be changing a job. You might not necessarily be moving, but you are going to have to redirect your thought process. They're saying around abundance. Okay. You want me to pull a different deck here for that? So, Three of Swords. Swords are always about your thoughts, right? It's where your head is. And when you're in this situation where what you're thinking about is what you don't have, right? Like, she looks like she's in despair, like she doesn't have. And the action to take would not be to feel in despair, but instead to focus on creating abundance. And so here you were thinking about it. How do I create abundance? There's ideas and inspiration coming through. Everything is connected though. And somehow it's around your belief in your heart space. Your belief that you're worthy of abundance. That you are truly everything that you need. And you have everything you need to create the abundance. Everything is within you. In my essence, I enjoy. Right? You are the most optimistic of signs. Okay. So what I saw in my head, why I pulled this deck, was because I saw the cover of it, right? And look at what card you got, the cover of it. So that's the message. The message says to visualize abundance in all forms. You are a fractal, remember? God gave you such great spiritual power that everything you visualize eventually becomes reality. Hold a steady vision of that which is beautiful, healthful, positive, and filled with blessings, and that is what you will experience. It is when, Sagittarius, you sit in your power of that optimistic energy that you have, where you don't criticize yourself for indulging too much. Oh my gosh, if I hadn't gone on that vacation, we wouldn't be struggling to pay the debts right now. Did you have fun? Okay. Well, you made a choice. Now let's make that choice work. Right? Okay, so that energy was already laid out, right? You put out the financial energy to have the vacation. Now tap the financial energy of the fun you had and use that to uplift your spirit and say, well, if I did it once, I can do it again. Right? Somehow you did that. You can do it again. Double energy is really asking you to let go of what isn't for you anymore. And this could be your attitude. I really want another card, please. Yeah, okay. It's the attitude. It's the attitude. All right. So, because we got the card, we have this ice cream, this overindulgence, and the little fortune cookie that says it's not for you. What's not for you? Not depriving yourself of joy. In my essence, I am joy. It's thinking that you can either have joy or you can have financial security. But you can actually have both. We have the land of milk and honey and the card of peace. What's interesting is this is number 15, the same as the double card. The land of milk and honey, the rainbow after the storm, everything that you need, and then the peace flows in. Oh, actually, it's 51. That's funny. Oh, my God. I'm dyslexic, but that's even funnier. It is the reverse of, right? It is the opposite side of the coin. You can never think that, you can either think that you can't have it all, or you can believe that you can have it all, and it is up into your, it is in your mind. Your mind setting the expectation, but feel it in your heart, this 2 of chalices, this 2 of cups. Allow yourself to find the peace that comes in. It's 23. That's a 5. 5 is the energy of change. Change your attitude. Visualize the abundance. You have all the power. You are the magician that creates your, it is you understanding that you have everything you need. It is inside of you, and it starts with your belief. And when you choose to believe that something is possible and you start moving in that direction, it's almost as though the road rises up to meet you. The things that you need will magically fall into your space for you. You have the fire creator. You have the soul on fire. Okay, Sag. This is you. Create from your passion. This is in the heart space. All this emotional energy. Create what you want in your life, by what fires you up, what gets you excited, what are you passionate about, What fills you with joy? In my essence, I am joy. We have fill up your cup with sacred giggles, right? All of this energy here of the cups. Fill up your cup with sacred giggles. And then when you do that, you have enough to share with someone else. Oh my God, you also have Creator Earth. The Tower. It's the fire on there, the inspiration, sparks of fire. That tree is rooted and grounded. It is grounding it. How does Creator Earth energy work? You take a step. You create an actual step in the direction that you want to go in. You take that first step. So whatever, okay, so when I get one of those mazes in the magazines or the newspaper, whatever, I start at the end and I work my way out. Is that cheating? No, that's efficiency. That is working a problem backwards. I'm dyslexic though, so maybe that's okay. But I think it's okay for everybody. I think that you start with the vision. All right, so let's say the vision is that you want a home business. Okay, let's go back to the child care business. Okay, just because we already talked about that. All right, so what would be the final step you would need to have that? You would have to be licensed by the state. What would you need to be licensed by the state? You would need to have an inspection. What kind of things are the inspector going to be looking for? Well, you're going to need to have certain amount of plumbing, rooms, adequate this, safety that. Do you see where I'm going? You start working your way backwards. When you know what the qualifications are, then you go, oh, so then I'm looking for a house that has these several things, like enough space for this, enough space for that, right? And then is that house zoned in a area where you can do that, right? So things before you buy the house, like what is the zoning that is needed? You know, start working your way backwards. Now you know what you need. You know how much square footage, you know what amenities it needs. You should start looking around, right? And then you start figuring out, well, how much money is this? Well, how much do we need for a down payment? You know, all those things before you get a realtor. All those things before you get a bank loan. So you start working your way backwards. Solve this problem backwards by first visualizing the abundance and then actually figuring out what are the steps. Start from the end and work your way backwards, and then you'll know what your first step is. Now, will there be things along the way that will shift and change? And yes, it needs to be flexible, but you're a mutable sign. I know you can handle it. But having the basics in your mind will create a framework for you to start working with. So you have the goose, higher goals, delegation, and soul tribe, that 3 of Cups energy coming through here with this justice card, this balance, and this awakening, right? I am supported and empowered to attain my highest destiny for the greatest good of all. Let go of relationships or people who are selfish or draining, right? The community that is not in balance with you up here in this justice card. Seek out respectful, loving connections with those who recognize your value and want to give as well as receive. Give up hyper-independence and learn to let yourself be helped. This will benefit you with others, as trying to do everything on your own doesn't help anyone. Trust that your highest and boldest visions can be accomplished. Ask for divine assistance. Remember, everything is connected. What you want in the heart space is out there waiting for you to connect with it. Okay, trust your biggest, boldest visions can be accomplished. Ask for divine assistance. Keep your intentions clear and focused. Open your heart to receive all the support you need to fulfill your destiny for the greatest good. And you have the Griffin. And I don't really think there's a card in this deck that's higher energy than this Griffin. And look at this beautiful tree here. The tree has really shown up in every aspect. It showed up here, it showed up here, and now it's showing up as a clarifier here. There's something about roots, being able to grow and expand, and to create a place that creates community, right? Like the birds, the squirrels, they will nest in it. People will rest under it. It provides food. It provides shelter. It can provide, at the end of its lifespan, it can provide heat and warmth. There's something about this tree and the tree of life. And so there's something about this. Really, the Ten of Pentacles is the tree of life energy. And so the Griffin, loyalty, power of the good, and the light bearer. I trust in the ferociously loving power of divine goodness. Goodness does not need you to be super nice or a doormat. You can be kind, but you can also be a divine badass, living with integrity, courage, and truth. Ask the universe for help in sorting out any issues that you are experiencing. So back there with that Seven of Cups, ask for the help you need to sort it all out, so that you can learn from them without losing yourself to them. Trust in the power of divine justice. Oh, well, you have that right here. You do not have to understand the workings of the universe to know that karma works out all things according to higher wisdom and timing. Karma is when people say, oh, I hope they get their karma. Everybody gets their karma. People, karma's not a bad thing. Newton. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It's just the consequences. And consequences is not a bad word either. People like to make it a bad word. It's not a bad word. This is very Sagittarian energy. It is that the energy you put into something will always come back to you. So put in the good stuff, so what comes back is the good stuff, right? So karma's going to work out. And it doesn't necessarily work out in this lifetime. That's truth. But this lifetime, I think souls lined up to get to this lifetime. In particular, because there's a lot of karmic shedding going on. As things are spinning and spinning faster and faster as we move to the next age, we are clearing some serious lifetimes of karma. And so there's this cleansing and this clearing that's happening universally that allows us to elevate. And it's sort of like when the water settles in a dirty, like a murky water settles out, it looks clearer. But to get that out of there, you got to sift it out. And so it looks muddy for a while. Right now, the world looks pretty freaking muddy. But it's because it's clearing. It's a process. You can guide others with wisdom when you integrate your physical and spiritual realities. You know, I got to say, this yoga card here, you may find that you're a fire sign. Doing physical activity actually helps you. And so maybe taking a yoga class, or if you already know how to do yoga, revisiting your practice, intensifying your practice, making it more of a regular thing in your life, might actually help you to connect with your spiritual energy a little easier right now. Be loyal to your values and your truth. So this card is really about this. It is about the justice, and this one was too. So I really think your integrity, your values, doing the right thing for the right reason. And it may create a little disruption in your life, right? The water might get a little murky, but doing the right thing for the right reason, that's how we move forward. And keep that vision of what it is that you want to manifest and create in your life in the forefront, because that is your North Star. That is your guiding light. You guys have worked through the integration process. The South Node moved through Scorpio. You were integrating. And now you're in the baby wobbly steps of creating the new paradigm for yourself, as that South Node moves into where it is now in Libra. And it is a building phase. And the energy that we're on now, this Mars reset, is about a 2-year cycle. The next time it resets, it's in your sign. So, and just about that time, you'll be in the starting to really see the fruits of your labor. So right now you're tilling the soil, you're getting the roots out, you're amending the soil, you're getting ready, but you got to have the vision of what it is that you want. And so I know you're rather impatient energy, but let things develop according to divine timing. That's when it's the best, really. So, all right, guys, I will be back in a week or two with your 2024. If you're a subscriber, make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll know when I'm back in January. I'm going to stay on Facebook. I just kind of need a break. I want to go north for the holidays. I want to, I just need some time, and I want to reorganize my channel in a different way. So when I come back, it'll be a little bit different. So be sure to hit the notification bell so you can see what I've done and decide if it's something that you're interested in at that time. All right, you guys take really good care of yourselves. This is an exciting time for you. It is going to be important that you connect with your spiritual energy through meditation. For you, it might be a yoga meditation, but getting enough rest. Take really good care of yourselves. And I want to say maybe create a vision board, because maybe the act of doing that will help you to crystallize what it is you really want, so you can start working the steps backwards to figure out where the starting point is. Okay? Guys, take care. Talk to you soon.